host, I was like, I want to from your perspective and your background and what you've done in your life and what's happened.
Well, mine is pretty heavy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and now you've got 2 sons.
Well, son and daughter.
Son and a daughter. Yeah, you got a son and a daughter. So, for those of you that don't know his background, go look him up. But like, give a snapshot of your background, your life.
So, you know, as a kid, I went to college or whatever. My brother committed suicide my senior year. So everybody said that's when I changed. Ended up going to college, getting in trouble in college. Went to prison for 7 straight years. I had a 7-year sentence, did 7 on that. Yeah. And got out with a lot of power in the gang. And so I became a recidivist, went back 4 times. Eventually moved to Los Angeles, started my YouTube channel, did some bodybuilding shows, and became successful in the fitness world with YouTube, bodybuilding shows, and TV. I was doing a lot of commercials and TV work. And so I just knew in my life that if I didn't have kids, and especially I seen all these people dying, bodybuilders, all my friends, just young people dying. I was at that point at 40 years old, and I'm like, you know, I did my last bodybuilding show and they told me all the drugs I would have to take to become a professional. I'm like, bro, I live to live forever. I'm not about to pump all that stuff in my body to die young. And so
have your heart just
no, it don't make sense. Here it is, I'm gonna get all these big muscles to impress a man. You know what I mean? That's what it boils down to. Like, men need other men to tell them they look good. For nobody. Nobody pro bodybuilder. I'm a businessman. I grew up in an era where you was 13 driving a Mercedes Benz, designer clothes, pocket full of money. So once I started competing in bodybuilding, thinking there was a lot of money to be made. And once I spent $250,000, did my taxes, the tax person said, "Oh, that's $250,000 going for nothing." I'm like, what? This don't make no sense as a businessman. And I'm ruining my health? Like, it didn't make sense. Luckily, YouTube hit, Facebook and all that, so I was able to make money. And so, at that point, I'm like, what is life without kids? You know, you see these bodybuilders, but no kids? When you die, you dead. Don't nobody hardly think about Rich no more, Dallas, McGar, all these guys. You don't have no kids mentioning it. And so for me, I felt that if I had kids, even if I pass on, I'll live through them. Right. Like, you know, this is no lie. I'm trying to find out how to close myself down. Try to save up enough money. It'd be like $1 million. Oh, here you go. Clone me. So I don't never want to die. And so what happened to me, this is the first people go hear this story. So what happened to me, because of bodybuilding and taking all that stuff, my sperm count was 0. Most depressed I was in my life, 0.
And we talk a lot about this on the channel, HRT, and like being healthy and
Man, so I went to the fertility specialist, and they told me what I had to do to get my sperm back up. And for me, it was a shock, because when I was young, I was supposed to have 10 kids. My girlfriend in college got pregnant twice, had abortions. When I got out of prison, every woman that I had unprotected sex with got pregnant. So I added it up, I was supposed to have 10. So now that I wanted kids, it became a problem. And so I did everything in my power, man, to get my sperm count back. And it came back, and God put me with the woman that I spoke into existence, you know, and I was able to have my twins. And my life now, man, it's like, it's a dream.
So knowing your background, what you've gone through, the poor choices that you made, what kind of father, how are you going to lead them, knowing what you know now?
So my focus is, and you know, to me it's kind of easy to steer kids in the right way now, because we have social media, YouTube, and whenever your kid doing something bad or something, you like put it in Google or YouTube, like, oh, you want to do that? You want to use drugs? Look at them. You know what I mean? Like, you can show examples.
Are you going to be candid about your past with them?
Yeah, I
use
get
that.
Oh
as,
yeah.
As they grow up.
Well, yeah, you know, they go read my book. Then I got a documentary on YouTube. But yeah, man, so my kids already got it planned out. They know everything I know at about the age of 5 to 10. Everything I know. Like, I'm just soaking it into them. And that's why, you know, people on social media nowadays, and, you know, my producer, we talk all the time about this. The information like me and you know, like people, we don't have to give everything to the people for them to twist it whichever way. On social media, YouTube, I'm gonna give everything to my kids. And to me, men like us, that's our obligation, to make sure our seed.
I like how you said that. It's an obligation.
Yeah,
to your children.
It's not to strangers, or what's that saying in the Bible? Don't throw your knowledge and wisdom to swine or whatever. Pearls of swine. But so my focus is, and you know, luckily I got my great producer back with me where I could talk, because if it wasn't for him, I really wouldn't have nobody to talk to and, you know, bounce off ideas. But my focus is to give them everything I got and know. And they can, you know, decipher how they want to. But, because I just look back on my parents, I had to learn through trial and error. I had both parents. I had my mother and my stepfather. But because they worked so much, I had to go through life bumping my head and stuff myself. Even though I was a great kid. I told you earlier, 3.83, had football scholarship from every college in the country, senior class president. I was a great kid. Worked from the age of 12 till I graduated high school. And I would have worked in college if I didn't have a scholarship. But being a parent, man, like I was telling my producer, it's the best thing in the world. Just to be able to know that, you know, you can just raise kids to be good or bad. You know what I mean? Because I look back, even though me and my mother don't have a good relationship, I always quote all the assets she gave me. Mind your business. Work, that's why I'm a workhorse. This woman works 16 hours a day at a hospital the last 35 years. If she's not working, she ain't happy. That's how I am. And so I got some great qualities from her. And that's what I'm gonna teach my kids. They not just gonna be raised Beverly Hills or bougie. Do your chores. You know what I mean? Teach them how to work. Do your chores, and you know exactly. Yeah. You know, not these kids now that's just think everything should be handed to them. You know, that's not life to me. So yeah, man, it's so awesome. I'm thinking about them now. You know what I mean? And luckily for me, what I do in life, I haven't been a day without my kids yet.
That's awesome.
And they 10 months. Haven't been a day without them. And that's, you know, luckily I do what I do to be able to do that. You know what I mean? Because I just want to be there every step of the way for them.
I'm going to put it in. So what you're saying is all that wrapped up. And I like what you said is fatherhood is an obligation.
Yeah.
It's an obligation. And I dig it.
Yeah, it is.
Callie, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. Callie Muscle, you're obligated.
Showing that bicep. Oh, yeah. Is that too close for you?